Good morning, world. All you fellow YouTubers. I'm on my way to work. Didn't want to get up this morning and go. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be cold-wise. Though I dressed up warm and I'm moving, so I'm already sweating. Whoa, a bunch of trees. I have a 9.5-mile bike ride. I wasn't going to ride it this morning. I was going to take the bus. But I kind of woke up with a sore throat this morning. Actually, last night. I felt it last night, all night. I kept on waking up. So, I really just want to sweat it out. It's good for you to sweat it out. It is. I literally had $360 in my account. I just bought a Starbucks coffee, which leaves me at like $351, which I have to pay $350 Friday coming up for this place. So I gotta scrounge up some money today. I do. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I also know how God works. I've been low many times my whole life. I've lived in the gutter. I've done all those things. I've taken from people. I've done heroin, crack, meth, all the pills you can think of. Drank, smoked weed. I broke into buildings, stole guns. There's a lot I've done. And I'm thankful every day for Jesus. If you're ever at a point in life and you don't know what to do, you don't know how to live a good life, you've had family trauma, childhood trauma, you live in your past, you can't stop thinking about all the mistakes you've made, all those past regrets. I've been there many times. The third time I went to prison, which I went the first 3 times for stuff I actually did. The 4th time, I didn't do anything wrong to go to prison. When I was in that prison in the state of Michigan, I hated who I was. I didn't like myself. I had an ego. So the fake side of me would always tell myself, oh, I got this, I can do this, I'm better than most people. I would justify everything. I would. Hold on. I hate when people do this. They see you coming and they still park in front of the sidewalk. A lot of people will actually drive back or go in reverse. I like those people, they're kind. But I lived with a lot of regrets. I did. So many relationships, not seeing my daughter or barely knowing her, my family, they don't get along. They never have. They're always fighting, always accusing each other of things, which they do have a right to do so, because family members have done a lot of things to other family members. You know, I lost so many good friends over the years, not just because of what I was going through, but because of what they were going through. You lose touch with yourself. You start to get high, or gamble, or have sex, or I even was cleaning. I was addicted to building cars and computers. That's all I cared about. And I thought I was doing good. From a society standpoint, people thought I was doing good. And I was. As far as work goes and having things. But I was still miserable inside. I still hurt. And when I got to prison my third time, for running my car into a cop car and hopping out on foot, leading them on a chase, which didn't last for very long. It didn't. I gave up. I wanted to go to prison. I knew that I was going to end up dead or in prison the rest of my life. I needed to get away from people. Which, going to prison, you don't get away from people. You don't. But you get away from your loved ones. You get away from having to worry about work and paying bills and all those other things. I started to take the time to read. I started reading a lot of novels, mystery novels, and then I got bored with them because they were all the same. So I started picking up self-help books, spiritual books, the Quran, Buddhism books, all those things. Now what's funny is, every time I came across a Bible, I would shun it because of everything that I thought I knew about the Bible and Christians and everything else. I would throw it in the trash. I would. Leave it on the ground. All types of things, man. One day, I ran into a couple people in the state prison that were doing life. They were never coming home. And I noticed they were glowing. It wasn't like a fake happy or just having a good time kind of look, feel. They were genuinely at peace with themselves. And it blew my mind. It did. Because I knew they were never coming home, and they were in prison for some very serious, heinous things, killing people. You know, all those things. But they were genuinely happy. And you could see the glowing. They lit up the room as soon as they walked in. Everywhere they went, people would come to them and want to talk with them and sit with them. And I asked this black man one day, how are you so happy? You know you're never going home. What makes you glow like this? It actually frustrated me because I wanted that so bad. The gentleman took me to his room, his cell, and handed me a Bible. And I looked at him, I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't want to read this shit. You know? I told him I'll think about it. Because I didn't want to be an asshole. A couple days later, he'd come by my cell and just talk with me. Which no one really did that. If anybody came by, it was always for something they wanted. Whether it was food or drugs or whatever, you know, they needed something from me. They never came by to see how I was doing. He did. And he kept on doing it. And doing it. And doing it. Then he started bringing a Bible. Gave me a Bible. And I took it. And he wasn't the only one that did this. Throughout the time that I was in there were several people that did this. There was a white guy named Squirrel. He looked like a squirrel. He was really kind of crazy, actually. And he's been in the the state for a few years fighting marijuana. He violated parole for having a joint on him when he got stopped while he was walking. And they violated him. And he was fighting the case. He wouldn't stop. And I looked at him, I'm like, why are you doing this? Why don't you just accept the fact that marijuana is bad and go home? Because he was fighting the charge by himself inside the prison. This guy was smart, man. The parole board kept on flopping him. They didn't like it. They just kept him in there. He was in there for like 5 years already when I met him. And he refused to go home until he won this case. Which blew my mind. I said, it don't make any sense to me. You can be home. And you're doing this over marijuana? He told me it's not because of marijuana that he's doing it for. He fell in love with Jesus. He did. You could see it. He read the Bible every day, all day. He said, I'm fighting this because it's the right thing to do. Nobody should be in prison for marijuana, especially when pharmacies are passing out pharmaceuticals and then there's alcohol in every corner. He said it's the right thing to do. God gave me a purpose. This is my purpose. I don't have a life out there, but I have a life in here. I have a purpose. I didn't know what to say. I reflected on it for a while, a long while. I was so broken inside. I fell on my knees in my cell. I had a single cell when I was in the state the last time, which I'm blessed. I fell on my knees at 2 a.m. and just started crying, bawling my eyes out. I was hopeless. I was empty. I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. They don't. Just because they have a lot of things and money doesn't mean they know what they're doing. They don't. None of that will fulfill your heart. I fell. I begged God. I asked Him to come into my heart. I had the Bible and I said, if you're real, like everyone that supposedly loves you says you are, and you're in this book, show me, take me, do whatever you want with me. I'm yours. I can't do this on my own anymore. And I couldn't, I still can't. You don't find God in the Bible. You don't find God, period. He's already calling everyone. It's like answering the phone call. You just have to answer the call. Reading the Bible is beautiful. When you read it with your heart and not on what you understand from other people or your past experiences, all those shit beliefs and values you learned growing up, you read it with all that pain and suffering. You see what Jesus did and what everybody else that wrote in the Bible said that Jesus did and wrote down what he said. You realize that there ain't no way that was just a normal person. You fall in love with him. In the Bible it says, for all those that love me who have not seen me, you are blessed. I can't see Jesus physically. I don't know what he looked like. No one does. Only those that lived with him. But he understood something that many people do understand. But he understood it at a level that nobody else was willing to commit to and give their life for. His spirit, him dying on the cross, released his spirit into the world, into the universe. Everybody, when they die, their spirit gets released into the universe, this world. You're part of it. You were made from this earth. That's how God formed you. He knew that everyone that loved him, that followed him, they would all fall in love with a single entity. the same spirit. And in doing so, they all would become one. They all would become a loving family in worship of God. He's able to relight that kindle in your heart, that fire, that child passion that you had as a kid. He can bring that back to you. And He will. But you have to have an open heart. You have to repent. It just means you're sorry. You can't have His Spirit or anyone's spirit, any loved one that you love, to truly be on your heart until you're vulnerable, until you're sorry. It's the truth. You must humble yourself. It's the only way He can come into your heart and you can see what's wrong in you. He will show you all your flaws. Because everyone has them. They do. And because you love Jesus, you will want to fix those flaws. You will want to be a better person every day. You will talk to Him every day. When people say pray, it's good to pray. It is. But I don't like the word pray. Because when you say pray, most people think of just throwing a word up to the sky. God isn't in the sky. He's everywhere and in everything. He wants to have a relationship with you. He wants you to be conscious of Him at all times. And when you fall in love with Jesus, you're conscious of Him 24/7 from when you wake up to when you go to sleep. You don't have a choice. Once you ask Him to come into your heart, you don't. He's going to fix you. He's going to make you a better person. Because when you love Him, He lives inside your heart. You do things for Him, not for yourself. Therefore, it's Him living inside you, not you. You put your ego to the side. You stop doing selfish, manipulative behavior. And you start doing things out of the kindness of your heart. Like helping people, feeding them, giving them water, clothe them. Everybody needs it. It's a necessity. And you would want somebody to help you if you were in that position. That's one thing I've learned about God, is He always provides. Jesus said a parable, how the bird doesn't fret and worry about what he's going to wear. He's already wearing the most beautiful outfit there is. People stare and wonder at these birds all the time because they're so beautiful. The bird isn't conscious of that. The bird isn't worrying about how he's going to get his food the next day, his worm, or her. They just do it. They focus on what's in front of them. And they do what they do best. And that's where people are messed up. They're so messed up because of it. You have to learn how to be like that bird. You have to learn how to focus on what it is you need to be doing at that present moment and nothing else. God will bring everything to you. But you must remember, when you accept God into your heart and you give yourself to Him, things don't always work out the way you want them to. Because your idea of what a good life is doesn't even compare to the life God has chosen for you. So when things happen that you can't understand right away and it upsets you, it's because God is trying to teach you something spiritual. He wants you to build your character and reflect His light, His love. He will bring people in and out of your life just so you can learn and they can learn. Not every friendship or relationship is meant to be forever. And that's true. Ask Him to come into your heart. Ask Him to take over your life. Ask Him to forgive you. You will wake up a new person, a better person, a loving person, and you will have a purpose.